Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Conway Medical Center. Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. Today I'm at Conway Medical Center, and I'm joined by Dr. David Beck. We're going to get to know you a little bit better.
All right. Well, thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. I know you're pretty busy because you're an orthopedic surgeon.
We try to stay busy.
My goodness. Did you always know you wanted to go into orthopedics?
No, I tried to avoid it. I came from a family of doctors, and my mom always pushed me out of medicine, but I got reeled back in.
That's classic, though. I feel like every doctor's like, when they tell their kids they don't want to do it, but you ended up doing it.
Yeah, I did. And I'm really happy I did it in the end. I thought I was going to go into banking for a short period of time, and I worked in New York City, but then went to medical school, also in New York City at NYU, and from there it's history.
What was it like going to NYU for medical school?
It was fun, a lot of distractions, so
Yeah.
it was a little bit hard to keep my nose in the books, but
I see.
we made it through.
Well, what brought you back down the coast?
So really Conway Medical Center did. We'd only visited here our senior week of college, but when we came back and kind of heard the mission of Conway Medical Center and what they wanted to do with the orthopedics program, we decided this was the place for us.
Well, that's awesome. So I've been asking some of the doctors what kind of a day in their life looks like. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so ideally I wake up and I get to spend a little bit of time with my family. Then I head here, and it really depends on the day whether I'm in clinic or in the operating room. So a clinic day starts off around 8 o'clock, hopefully seeing about 30 to 40 patients in that day with a short lunch break, and then go home back to my family.
You see 30 to 40 patients in a day?
Ideally, yeah, on our busier days, that's what we'd like to get through.
And your specialty is in foot and ankles?
That's correct.
Why?
Well, no reason specifically tied to the foot or ankle, but when I did my rotations on that during residency, I just saw the breadth of what you can do with a specialty in foot and ankle. You're treating people with sports injuries, people with arthritis, people with chronic diseases like rheumatoid arthritis that it's really affecting their life. We've done studies comparing people that have foot and ankle pain versus other severe illnesses, and in terms of quality of life, it really is up there with any of the bad ones.
Yeah,
So,
I can see that.
yeah, so not that I like hanging out with miserable people, but I like being able to help people that are in pain.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to ask, you probably see a wide variety of different types of patients, but is there maybe a typical patient or something you see more often than others?
We see a lot of arthritis. Unfortunately, we see a lot of people with diabetes who are having foot and ankle issues secondary to that. So those are things we see commonly on a day-to-day basis.
What's your favorite part of your job?
The interactions, meeting people sometimes at one of the worst times of their lives and being able to follow them, help them, and then see them on the backside of that too, when they're getting back to the things they love to do.
Yeah, let's talk more about that. What is it like whenever you have a patient that comes back and you probably met them when they were in a lot of pain? How does it feel whenever they feel better?
It's great. Sometimes you're meeting these people in the hospital and you see them, they've got a fracture, you're taking care of it while they're there, and then they come back into the office and it's almost like you're meeting a new person, right? Yeah. They've got a different look on their face. They're not in the hospital gowns anymore. You're like, who's this person? But you get to see them start getting back to their life, and it's a great feeling.
I love that. Okay, so when you're not seeing 30 to 40 patients in one day, what are you doing in your free time?
Spending time with my family, try to keep active, run, do sports. Son's currently playing baseball, so I'm helping coach that team.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
What's that like?
It's great. It's funny, it's with a couple other orthopedic dads in the area, and we each have a son on the team, and we're getting through it.
That is awesome. Okay, so if somebody's watching this right now and they're thinking, ooh, I need to go see him because my foot has been hurting me and I think I need surgery, what does that process look like for you?
Well, just give us a call. We like to try and get people in same day, next day, as quick as possible, whatever works for your schedule. So if you think you might have a problem, I see anything and everything, whether it's foot and ankle or above. So just give us a call and we're happy to help.
This portion of Living Local Carolina was sponsored by Conway Medical Center.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
We have quite a treat today on Living Local Carolina. I am joined in studio by Salty Dog Senior Dog Rescue. How are you guys doing?
We're awesome. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So obviously we have a very esteemed guest over here, Otis, who's sitting on the couch with us. But why don't y'all tell me first a little bit about what you do and the whole purpose behind your mission?
Sure, absolutely. We are a senior-based rescue. We only take dogs 6 and older. We get dogs from owner surrender as well as from shelters. We started in May of 22, and we are a 501c3. We are totally operated by volunteers, located in Pawleys Island, but we have fosters as far north as Little River and as far south as Charleston. And then we adopt out animals out of state. We've had people come 4-6 hours just to adopt some of our senior dogs.
Okay, so senior dogs, obviously there's a specific purpose why.
My partner and I both started working in animal rescue years ago, and we noticed that the senior dogs come in and they kind of get overlooked. People are looking for puppies or younger dogs, and most of these dogs have already been in a home, so they are surrendered or dropped off at a shelter, and then they just are there kind of overwhelmed, never been in that type of environment before. So we just felt a need to come and draw those dogs out, put them in a foster home as opposed to a shelter, and then focus more attention on them so that they get adopted.
You're closing that gap for dogs like Otis.
Yes. We enjoy what we do. We also, another thing that is important to us is estate planning. We really feel like people need to focus on what's going to happen to their animals should something happen to them. Too many people assume that family or friends are going to take their dog, and actually cats as well, and then what happens is they get dropped off at a shelter instead.
Well, I'm back today at the Myrtle Beach Colored School Museum and Education Center, and I'm joined by Cookie. How are you, Cookie?
I am well. How are you, Katie?
I'm doing great.
Yes.
But tell me, where are we standing right now?
So right now we are standing in the Museum of African American History at the historic Myrtle Beach Colored School Museum and Education Center.
Yes.
So there's really several spaces, but the one is dedicated to the former students of the color school, and then this is African American history, where Doc Shee Moore serves as the curator, and it talks about or shares our life, the life of African American people in Africa prior to enslavement, and as dark as it was, it's part of history. So we share a little bit about slavery itself, and then some of the significant people, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, all of those up into current day with President Obama, Vice President Kamala Harris.
So talking a little bit about if people want to donate and help you guys out, how can they do that?
Yes, so we're continuously looking for artifacts as they relate to history, and so donations can be made simply by calling us 843-918-1062, or showing up here at the museum and bringing those artifacts. Now, I will say that in order for something to be deemed museum quality or museum eligible, there was a curator, for the classroom part, that a professional person, because, some people brought their grandfather's shoes or their grandfather's hat, and while that is so important and so special, we did not have the space for it. So we just want people to come by, and if they think they have something, but also for locals who have pictures from back in the day that they wish to share we're creating some things at Charlie's Place, which is one of the facilities that we manage, and it's also mentioned here in the Museum of African American History.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina. This story is sponsored by Plexiderm.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on Living Local Carolina. I love talking about Plexiderm, and I have my friend Melinda McKenzie back on the show today. Melinda, how you been?
Hey, it is so nice to see you. And it is so nice to continue to talk about a product that I use every single day. You know, I've talked about this the last time we were together. Well, I'm a little bit older now. I'm going to be 64, so it keeps happening every year. And with Plexiderm, it's just a serum, right? So you're going to put on clean, dry skin to smooth it out. For me, it's under the eyes. After time, you just look a little bit tired. And I'm sure for all you young folks out there too, if your eyes look a little bit different, you don't feel like yourself. And that's why I like sharing about Plexiderm, because you want to look fresh. That's all I really care about. I don't want to be 20 anymore, but I would like to look fresh for 64.
Oh, definitely. And you don't look a day over 30, to be honest. I was gonna say you look fantastic, and it's all because Plexiderm really does smooth those little lines out, and you can see in the before and afters. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's why we share so many photos and videos, right? Because we want everyone to see, no matter what your skin type is, what Plexiderm does is smooths out lines and creases anywhere, forehead, under the eyes, around the mouth, and we want you to feel fresh, and we want you to have confidence. I think that's what it does for me too, is like I look in the mirror and go, oh man, you know what I thought I looked like and what I really look like is a little bit different. So with the Plexiderm, I can freshen that up.
You can see yourself again. And it's only 10 minutes too. It's really quick.
Yeah, and that's my favorite thing too, because here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with products that say, hey, in 6 weeks, this is going to be better. Wear this overnight and you're going to be better. But with Plexiderm, right, we're just a boost, just like wearing cosmetics or styling your hair. We ask you, once you put on your clean, dry skin, let it rest 10 minutes because we want it to last 10 hours. Once you put it on, you're really going to see a big difference in 2 to 3 minutes, but really rest your skin for the full 10 so you have the full 10 hours of usage.
I have not heard that tip yet. I like that, to make sure that you're resting your face while doing it. And maybe brush your teeth or do something else to kind of distract yourself to really let it sink in, right?
Yeah, let it sink in 10 minutes. Even though in today's world that seems like a long time, it's really not to get these really great results.
And we always talk about, wearing this under makeup, which you can do as long as you're using something that isn't oil-based makeup. But this is also great for guys too, right?
Yes, and thank you for pointing that out. I am a makeup gal. I don't even go outside without wearing cosmetics. So that was the first question I asked, was like, hey man, can I wear my makeup with this, right? And you absolutely can. What it does is it helps you wear less if you're using your cosmetics to maybe hide some of those flaws that you're worried about, because you don't want I used to have my foundation creasing into my lines of my forehead and my eyes. That happens, right? Because I kept pounding more and more on, thinking this will help resolve my issue. With Plexiderm, you're going to find you use less concealer, and you recognize that men like it just as much as women, because you don't need to wear cosmetics too. That's the other thing. If you want your skin to look like your skin, as you see in all the photos and videos, your skin does look like your skin. You just look fresher.
Exactly. And you don't have to get any shots or any injections, which kind of freak me out. I'm a little baby when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, I hear that too. And at my age, I haven't done it yet. I'm not saying I won't. Who knows if I'll panic one day. But let's say you do get them, and that's okay too. But let's say you get them and then you eat the wrong food with too much salt, or you sleep the wrong way and you wake up with puffiness. What are you going to do? You are going to whip out your Plexiderm. You're going to tap it on, and in 10 minutes, you're good to go. I keep my Plexiderm in my bag. I talk to people about it all the time, because people are like, what have you done to your skin? I'm like, come here, let me show you a little secret. So it's very exciting that anybody can use it, whether you've used skincare regimens or not.
It is a secret weapon. And also, I love that you guys offer the trial pack. So you can always try it, see how you like it, and we really do think you will.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way for people to know that we are authentic. We mean what we say. Look at the reviews. I've been talking about Plexiderm for like 7 or 8 years now. We wouldn't still be around if this didn't work. And that's why we offer this trial pack, just like I have on the table. What this is it's 6 applications for $14.95. They're in little pods. And the reason is because this is a highly concentrated product. You need just the smallest amount. You always get free shipping.
This story is sponsored by Plexiderm. Don't forget to like our page on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. How to use the QR code. Just open the camera app on your smartphone, iPad, or tablet. Point your device at the QR code so the QR code appears on your screen. Your device will recognize the QR code and show you a notification. Click that notification and you'll come to our website. Living Local Carolina, weekday mornings at 9:30 on WBTW News 13.